Ferdinand Marcos, and I am the President of the Republic of the Philippines. I stand today on behalf of 110 million Filipinos.
Friends, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'm pleased to provide updates on the results of the Neda board meeting of the Marcos administration, particularly in the progress we have made in implementing our infrastructure flagship projects, or IFPs. First, let me share about the progress of our IFPs. As reported by the Neda Board Committee on Infrastructure, or Infracom, during the meeting, there are now 71 ongoing projects worth 4.11 trillion pesos as of July 2023, up from 68 projects reported in the first quarter. The 3 additional projects that have advanced to the ongoing phase are the Metro Cebu Expressway, the Nautical Highway Network Improvement, and the Daang Maharlika Improvement projects. The Department of Public Works and Highways are implementing these connectivity and transportation infrastructure projects, which aim to provide or to improve connectivity across the country. Among the remaining 123 IFPs, 27 have been approved for implementation, 8 are awaiting government approval, 52 are in the project preparation phase, while 36 are under the pre-project preparation phase as of July 2023. Second, the Neda Board confirmed today the revised guidelines for the formulation, prioritization, and monitoring of the government's IFPs. Particularly, projects approved by the Investment Coordination Committee, or ICC, and confirmed by the Neda Board, which are not in the current IFP list but meet the criteria indicated in the IFP guidelines, shall be included in the IFP list, subject to the endorsement from the concerned implementing agencies. Third, following the revised guidelines, the Neda Board approved to include 3 more projects under the list of IFPs. These projects are the Tarlac-Pangasinan-La Union Expressway, or TIPLEX Extension Project, the Philippine Rural Development Project Scale-Up, and the upgrade, expansion, operation, and maintenance of the Laguindingan International Airport Project in Misamis Oriental. With their inclusion in the list, these projects will be prioritized in the government's annual budget preparation and will benefit from the expedited issuance of applicable permits and licenses in accordance with current legal frameworks. This is a significant contribution to the timely implementation of these projects and fully realizing their economic returns, as this will help the government avoid the possibility of increasing costs and financing charges due to delays. Moreover, the Neda Board approved the request for change in cost, scope, and implementation timeline of the Flood Risk Management Project for Cagayan de Oro River. The project aims to reduce flooding in high-risk, flood-prone areas, develop Cagayan de Oro River, and strengthen the resilience of the communities along the river's stretch to climate change and other related hazards. Lastly, the board approved the provision of 6 fire trucks for Marawi City through an Official Development Assistance or ODA grant from China worth 72.5 million pesos. This project aims to support the objectives of the Bangon Marawi Rehabilitation and Recovery Program, which is the national government's strategic action plan for the areas affected by the Marawi seeds. By ensuring the efficient implementation of high-impact infrastructure projects, the Marcos administration aims to get the job done. We will enhance connectivity, reduce the cost of doing business, promote the creation of high-quality jobs, and ultimately reduce poverty sustainably to improve the lives of every Filipino. Thank you.
Thank you, Secretary Balisacan. Now questions from the press corps. Jean Mangalus, Inquirer.net.
Sir, some of the widespread flooding that was recently reported was actually attributed to some of the big ticket infrastructure projects. Will Neda reconsider, or has Neda taken into consideration the reported floodings when approving these projects?
Yes, many of these projects actually are meant to address the perennial flooding issues. No, if you go in the list of the IFPs, many of these are related to water management and related projects that or infrastructure projects that address flooding and access to reliable water supply.
Katrina Domingo, ABS-CBN.
Sir, we understand that the President and the DENR has ordered a review of the existing Manila Bay projects. May we know the NEDA's input with regard to the review of these projects?
We have not been sought for advice yet or for our perspective, but we'll ultimately have to be involved. As you know, NEDA approves big infrastructure projects, particularly those that will have impact on the economy and society, and in the case of Metro Manila, the whole of Metro Manila. We are not party to the approval of this infrastructure of these reclamation projects, but given the significance and importance in our the socioeconomic landscape of Metro Manila, NEDA should be part of that exercise.
Sam Medinilla, Business Mirror.
Good morning, sir. We would just like to get the reaction of NEDA regarding dun sa projection po ng BSP na government is likely to miss its growth target this year. Tsaka ano rin po kaya yung magiging impact po ng election ban, kasi di ba magbabarangay election na po. So mayroon pong mga at least mga a few weeks na hindi po pwede yung government projects. Are we still confident na ma-reach natin yung targets natin for this year?
Yeah, as we discussed during the announcement of the second quarter GDP, we presented there our action plans, our catch-up plans for the various implementing agencies. We have identified the sources of the slowdown, and we think that we can speed up the implementation of projects and programs to benefit the economy for the second half of the year. No? So the things that were not spent in the first half could be spent in the second half, and so it will get recorded as part of the economic activities during the second half. So we feel that, and we do think that by addressing the issues that we have identified, many parties have identified, we could still achieve at least the lower end of the range of 6.5, 6 to 7. As we mentioned earlier, we need to grow 6.6% in the second half to achieve 6% growth for the full year.
Maricel Halili, TV5.
Hi, Sec. Magandang umaga po. Sir, itong magkakasunod na linggo na po yung pagtaas ng presyo ng petrolyo at humihingi na po yung mga transport groups ng fare increase, including yung mga taxi operators asking for 70 pesos flat down rate. Ang sinasabi po ng LTFRB, isa dun sa mga ikukonsidera nila sa pagdesisyon yung magiging impact po nito sa ekonomiya. Ano po ba yung posibleng maging epekto kung sa ekonomiya sakaling mapatupad yung dagdag singil sa pasahe?
of course, any policy actions that we make, especially those affecting a big part of the economy, would have to take into account the broader picture, no, and particularly the broader objective of assuring that or ensuring that we will keep the momentum of growth going. We will continue the progress that we have made in recent months in slowing down inflation, that we do not also slow down the progress that we are making in the labor market. As you have seen, the labor market has been showing us lower and lower inflation, unemployment and underemployment rates, and we want to move along, continue those, as well as, and perhaps more importantly, improving the quality of employment. So those considerations have to be taken into account in approving requests or appeals for things like higher transport fare. But ultimately, it will also depend on the evaluation of the concerned agencies, the implementing agencies.
Okay. Alexis Romero, Philippine Star.
Secretary, yung nabanggit yung growth targets sa 6 to 7, you're still confident of achieving at least the lower end. But what are the downside risks to that target?
Well, yeah, the downside risk is the inflation, but especially that the oil prices are picking up again. I mean, the global oil prices. Staples like rice in the global market, prices are also rising. We are positioning ourselves though to ensure that while these developments are adverse to our objectives of keeping inflation to further slow down, we need also to ensure that we are in good command of our policy tools. We are, for example, looking at enhancing the availability of stocks so that we can prevent untoward increases or upward pressure on prices in the near term.
So aside from apparently you were referring to underspending when you mentioned the need to fast track yung mga projects, di ba, Sec? Aside from yung increase or fast tracking yung government spending, what other measures will the government undertake para ma-achieve yung at least lower end nung growth target for 2023?
I think the progress in the slowing down of inflation. Inflation has always been a major concern, because when high inflation persists, that discourages or depresses domestic demand, and as we have seen, we have made significant progress since January of this year in slowing down inflation, and we would want to continue moving in that direction. And if we do that, if we succeed in that will be a big boost to our domestic demand and to our growth. At the same time, we are keeping watch on agencies and putting pressure on each other to ensure that the progress we are making in easing the business conditions, particularly those that impact on the ease of doing business. This we have to address. I remember that our goal, we kept saying that what we need first and foremost is massive investment, to improve the quality of jobs. Because as an economist looking at the problem, it's not so much already anymore the jobs per se that are the problems, but it's the quality of the jobs that are there, no? So and of course we need nothing less than investment, not just in the public sector, but even more importantly in the private sector, that makes that improvement in the quality of jobs.